lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name's Ryan. Back with me again. I got my boy Eli with me.
What's up?
Gonna talk some more Turtles. Another one of the micro series issues. We talked Donatello already. Definitely wanted to talk this one with you. I think we had mentioned it off camera, but I'm really excited to go through this one, dude. Leonardo.
Yeah, it's an amazing book, man. It's killer cover and an amazing lesson in storytelling. We've got dueling stories going on, different artists for each story.
Yeah, it's funny because I thought I had this in my collection up until a couple months ago. And when I was organizing my Turtle comics, I realized this was the only one I didn't have. I had never read, so I hadn't read it up until recently because I thought always in my mind had it. I had Raphael, I had Donatello, I had Michelangelo. I remembered those stories, but I couldn't remember this, and now I know why because I didn't have it. So it's definitely one of my favorites now, and it's interesting too. I didn't realize that so many people helped out on this. Steve Bissette is
I think he did tones on it. I think
pretty crazy, dude, to see that. Mentioning it here, that they had help from Jim Lawson, Michael Duty, Ryan Brown, and Steve Bissette.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then this whole Turtle Tracks is kind of very ahead of its time, talking about, kind of the same shit we talk about now with Marvel and DC putting out junk, and they're talking about the black and white boom is this new thing that's happening. All these black and white comics that are coming out, that some are cheaply made and terrible, and some are great, but there's the whole explosion happening, it kind of as a revolt to the junk Marvel and DC's putting out. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, the fucking when he says cynical market manipulation going on, and the falsely hot comics, it's so weird to see. It's kind of like when the Kayfabe channel goes through Wizards and seeing how the speculation market has come back, and that's almost 30 years later, and then seeing
it's crazy
in the 80s, because it's still happening. And I think that's probably ever since comic books could be looked at as some sort of an investment or something you could make money off of. That's when this whole kind of thing started, and it's always been prevalent.
Exactly. As soon as someone sold that first Superman or Batman for a bunch of money, I'm sure it was one of those two that was the first huge book, because the serials and then the TV show and then the movies, it was all it's crazy.
So we get into the story. I love both stories, but obviously I'm more partial to the top half of the pages of Leo fighting on rooftops.
It's such an amazingly told story too. It's beat for beat action, fighting, kicking ass. It's so insane, and that I feel is Eastman, Laird, Bissette, and maybe Ryan Brown inking or something. But I bet maybe Michael Dooney, because then I feel the lower half is 100% Jim Lawson and Ryan Brown.
Yeah, it's funny too.
It's got that the feel of the tales.
Yes, stuff. That's what I was thinking when I was reading it again recently too, because Jim's style has changed so much, from where it was to where it becomes in the early 90s, and then where it becomes in the 2000s with the volume 4 we're looking at, and even now when he does his turtle commissions or his turtle covers.
And it's just so funny because we're reading volume 4 coming up, and he's even fighting for Jim in those letters columns where he's people say Jim's art sucks. Well, I think the word sucks. Did you read all that?
I did read all of it. Are you talking about the one in 11? I
think it was in 11,
where he's talking about segways and shit.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
It's in that one. Yeah, it's insane.
I love Peter Laird, dude. His letters pages are another layer of making the comics great. His editorials, all this stuff.
Yeah, the letters column took me as long as the whole book took me, I feel like.
Yeah.
But this is classic Leonardo. This is classic Turtles fighting right here, man. It's so sick.
It's great because if you take out the bottom part of the book, this is a completely wordless fight between him and the foot, you know? And it's just,
Yeah.
I love that it's in the snow too. I think we've talked about that in a other issue. I feel like we have.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We definitely have like snow comics are beautiful. Like that would be cool, like little mini comic to put out or something like that. If you're somebody like Jerome Cabanatan or something who's always like putting out little bootlegs, it'd be sick to put this one together. Little like square.
Yeah.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, it's perfect too, the size for a square.
And the Christmas tree story is just, it's so different. It's so differently presented. Like the number one thing without tones, there's like no tones, you know? So it's like they're living this like bright, easy, fun story at the bottom. And then there's this like gritty, dark, dangerous story at the top.
No, it's a really great way to denote that, you know, like how it's I don't want to say more, it's a simpler style down here, you know, like there's
sure.
not as much going on, and that's what helps break it apart. But it's funny because, like, you know, they're putting this tree together and they'll mention Leo every once in a while, like, oh, where's Leo?
Like, where is he?
I love this too, the slice when his bandana gets cut.
Oh yeah. And there's so many like imagery I feel like maybe he's like reused or was used for like posters or t-shirts or ads or something like that, or these images that are like, you know, so Turtles. Like this, all of the micro series are great in their own way, but like isn't this the only one too that ties back into the main story? Because this picks up right at 10.
It is the only one that is directly connected. Raphael, I think, falls very in line. It's almost like that could have been issue, I think it was in between 3 and 4. So that almost could have been like 3.5. You know what I mean? Because like it kind of was going with the narrative, but it didn't leave on a cliffhanger, which is like, okay, you know, follow the story along in this issue. It was like completely one and done.
Yeah.
But
it was like the first act of the movie, basically.
Yeah. It's still one of my favorite, not just favorite Turtle comics, it's probably one of my favorite comic books of all time. I think it's such a perfect comic.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
And just like the action continues again, there's not really any words, but there's just like a masterclass and like a fight comic, you know?
Yeah, again, it's, the choreography is great. It's got so many different moments, like just like from like the close up to his face and jumping through the snow, like you can really feel like I don't know how else to say it, but like the fluffiness of the snow. Like you can see that like the texture comes across really well. I love this too at like the top.
Oh yeah.
He's
like
just
this establishing panel here.
Yeah.
They're on the rooftops. He's got some stuff. He's like, you know, he gets these breaths every now and then. He's like, you know, as a kid, if you're reading this, I'm sure there's lots of sound effects flying around. Like,
yeah, there is like there isn't a lot. You see this with the blades going through the air, but like all this, sound effects.
Yeah, it's all sound effects. And the boys in April are just, you know, trimming the tree, chopping some vegetables, chopping broccoli.
Again, mentioning Leo, but he's just not there. I love this too.
They're like, oh,
right
he's
here,
fine. He's probably
the panel,
fine.
this movement right here.
Oh yeah,
behind Leo.
Like he pulls out his sword. It's down, like facing down, and he kind of like whips it around, and then it's like ready for action. Yeah, he whips it around and then puts it back in his whatever those things are called, sheath.
Yeah. I was gonna say holster, but yeah, they're not called holsters. They're sheaths, probably.
Yeah, I think there's even another like a ninja name, a Baird or a Bard or like I don't know.
Like so many of the images are something that like just him cutting carrots.
Yeah,
you know, or no,
this is one of the panels. Yeah, I think this was like oh yeah, that's definitely Jim Lawson. Like those are Jim Lawson fingers. Those are like, you know, that's like Tails stumpy finger. You know, I don't know.
But this again, too, like him climbing down the thing, flipping down into the snow.
Yeah.
This is such a great panel though, right here. Like the fucking down the alley, like the perspective of all the foot soldiers coming at him.
It's like it gets to this like Daredevil level kind of too. Like you really see that kind of influence where it's like street level, it's dirty, it's gritty, he's just like fighting ninjas, We don't know why. It doesn't really matter why. He's just like going, And Splinter's like, he can take care of himself. He's probably just doing some last minute Christmas shopping. Maybe he's going to come home with a surprise. Oh, he will, April, but not the one you want. Dun, dun, dun. God, just all action here. Some of the work in the tones, like panel 3 on the left page, that little like
This one
kind of like wide brush stroke, of behind him, and then they flip it to where like it's all white, and then they're using the tones as the snow. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Then the last one in the Leo part, that like circle.
Yeah, dude, that's what I was just staring at. I love how they use that as like a way to like have light source behind them.
Yeah, that is very Steve Bissette. So maybe it really is Bissette on the tones, because they were always talking about how he was like so much better than them at tones and stuff at first. So this is some like tone masterwork here. So it would make sense if it was Bissette on tones.
This part with Raph at the bottom with the butterfly knife, he just starts like
Yeah.
anger in his face and then chopping away at the tree.
Yeah, he's not, killing somebody. He's not fighting somebody. He's just trimming the tree.
I also love that we're seeing them without their bandanas, which you don't see that often.
I love that. Yeah, and Lawson is like the king of them without their bandanas, I feel like.
Yeah.
Especially in the right side, page 9 here, like just these 2 little circles and like a little line for the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love that. I loved that when I was a kid. And maybe that's one of the things that like made me love Lawson so much, is like how good he is without their masks. I love them without their masks.
Same, dude. I mean, like that's where you get more of the emotion, because you can see their eyes, their pupils and stuff like that. You don't I mean, he does draw their pupils with the mask on sometimes, but it's different with the mask off. Oh, I love these pages right here too.
Because even more, you don't know like who they are, and like I like when they embrace that and they're like, it doesn't matter who they are. You get it, you get the dynamic, and then you can kind of pick out who they are.
Especially when like with the dialogue. You can tell by with the dialogue who they are, usually.
Oh man, and they're just cutting stuff up, cutting each other's swords down. Amazing alley work. And just as Leo is like with his swords like presenting, then you have this quick cut to Raph, who's like in the tree, and he's got his swords, but for a very different reason.
I should have been a barber.
And then they just can. Oh man,
I love it too. Like, yeah, his sword. Both of his katanas eventually get broken down. I love watching the weapons just becoming like where they're like stumps. You know what I mean? Like losing the scythe, all that shit.
And on the right or the left panel here, someone sticks that like one thing in his shell in the front, and then he kicks him down, and then he pulls that out and like throws it away, and then he's just like, he's taking some damage.
Yeah,
just ongoing, just like beating him up. And again, the tone work, which I'm gonna just start saying, as Steve said, is like just mastery here. It's so good.
Yeah, because like you start off and there's a lot more of like the black and gray, but then you get these panels where it's just fucking stark white behind him.
And it works because it's snow, but then it also works because like that drives the action, drives your eye, where it's like this is the only thing to see is this like ick right here.
I love too the way he blocks the ninja stars there.
Oh yeah,
so sick.
He has a lot of cool moves like that.
Yeah.
And hey, these are the turtles, they're like, this is only our second real Christmas. And I can relate to that. I didn't have a Christmas till I was in my 30s, probably.
Same
as a Jewish man, started dating with my,
I was the same way. I fucking went.
You were too?
Yeah. I didn't celebrate Christmas when I was a kid either, So
yeah.
It's funny. Yeah. Being an adult and celebrating for the first time is kind of weird,
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
We made like ornaments or whatever, and it was like my first Christmas, like 2010 or something like that. Yeah. It's a nice tradition, sure. All right, he's still battling here, man. Next pages, it gets even more like it's like all gritty here, and it's like starting to kind of like really beat him down, and this barrage of arrows starts flying. Like,
It's crazy too, because it's like they're not all coming at him at once. He'll get through like a few, and then there's more. And it's just
yeah,
like
like
it's a constant. It's just a constant like barrage of fucking foot soldiers that are coming at him.
yeah,
And this is post Shredder being gone too.
right, yeah, because yeah, they
Because he
think
was
he's
gone
dead.
in issue one, yeah.
And then, it's like he's going through that now, this like toughest part. And April and the other guys are just like singing carols and chilling. And, their joy is like reaching a peak as this battle is reaching a peak for Leo. Oh my God. And then it ends, this spread ends with just like a city shot because he's like it zooms out.
Such a great panel.
Oof. So good. Killer
They're
tone
just
work,
like, oh,
adding
it's
in the snow.
gonna be a white Christmas, guys. Here comes the
Yeah,
snow
this
again.
is
It's
what a
just
nice
like
day.
smells yummy, Mike. Like they're all just like not even realizing what's going down, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. See, Leo's
So,
getting like destroyed as this guy with the cape kind of like peers at him and runs around the corner. So he comes around.
yeah.
He finds like a dirty jacket and puts it on and starts roaming the streets with a couple other people. And there's some elite foot ninjas who start coming at him, throwing snowballs at his head.
Yeah, I love the panels where like now it's snowing and stuff. It just like
Like
adds,
real hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Again, any sign of Leo? Nah, he's Mr. Perfection. He'll be here.
Yeah, he'll be here. No
Yeah.
worries.
The fucking way the snowball just knocks him right in the face right here too.
Yeah. Like you were saying, they really are able to like capture this, like the feeling of the snow, the like heft of it, the weight of it, the coolness of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. And as things are getting darker and darker and these tones are getting heavier, damn, the battle rages on. Damn, dude. And
Yeah.
and he's fighting two elite now. So it's like even tougher. And he's just like going. Like
Going through
this
the
is
gauntlet, dude.
yeah, dude. One of the most epic battles of Leo's life. Panel 3 on 21 is just so good.
I was I
Jeez.
was just staring at that one too. That's
The
something that I
shine
would I
in the
would hang up
tones.
as like a poster, just that one panel.
Oh, absolutely. And that even more so is like Bissette's tones because like I'm not even sure that Eastman and Laird at their best could have done that. And that's no slight on them. That's just saying how nasty Steve Bissette is at these tones.
Yeah, he's also, I mean, at this point, probably he's done more comics pages than them too, right? Like
For sure.
been
Yeah.
around.
Dang. And so back at the house, they're like, it seems like there's this giant beast that's attacking, and like we might get some action in the home story, but nah, it's just
Just
cute
clunk.
old clunk.
Yeah. Top notch guard kitty.
Yeah, and so some civilians are getting an eyeful of some Ninja Turtle in this thing for the first time. They're like, oh, clutch my pearls. They run away. And man, this is some major like Frank Miller Wolverine 4-issue mini series type shit here where he's running through and he sticks his
I,
sword out with the
with the
yeah,
coat.
like
Yeah, that's fucking dope. And you just see the bullets fly from the side.
yeah, yeah,
Or the stars, I mean. You see the
yeah,
stars.
fly right through the thing.
Yeah.
Like they're like, we got him.
He just can't outrun them. They just keep coming, dude. And the snow
Yeah.
just gets heavier and heavier.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm about done with all this bullshit. And then on the next page, he's in front of some posters, including Reed Gizmo and Dave Sim live at Carnegie Hall. I just noticed that.
I just noticed that too, yeah. And then again, I only wish Leonardo were here to join in the fun.
Yeah,
He's the only one, and then he starts getting concerned, but they just don't.
Yeah,
They don't
but
have to
then
do
he's like,
anything.
"All right, get your bandanas, let's go."
Yeah. Funny that Donnie's the one that says it too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's probably like, "I'm hungry, and we can't eat without him, so let's go." Oh my God! But it gets even better too. Like here they come. He falls down this hill, and he comes up, and he's like covered in snow. And then that first panel on 27. Good Lord.
Dark Knight Returns right here.
It's so good. Yeah. Or some like Swamp Thing shit or some like.
It just reminds
Oh
me
my
of the
God.
scene where he fights the where he fights the head of the mutants. He's covered in mud.
Oh yes.
But I
Yes, you're
don't know
right.
when this
Oh,
falls in line when Dark Knight Returns comes out.
well, they talk about Dark Knight in that intro. They're talking about like the really good comics at DC. They're like Watchmen and Dark Knight,
But
and
was
talking
that
about
issue
Frank Miller,
1?
Elektra. I can't remember, man.
Yeah, I can't remember which issue
I
that
don't
was.
think
I feel
so.
like maybe
Yeah.
it was issue 1. I don't know, but this totally reminds me of that. Especially like
Well,
right
man,
here.
then the foot surround him, and one of the guys raised their hand like, "Hold on, hold," and then they're all like, "What's up?" And then he's like, "Just we're back here, and it's humor."
Yeah.
And Mikey's like trying to, or maybe it's Raph who's like trying to do his best Bill the Cat impression. That's from Opus, or what was it actually called? Bloom County. Yeah, Bloom County. It's
Like,
classic.
come on, dude, gear up, bro. Let's go.
And he's like, okay, fine. Me and Clunk are chilling. Oh my god! And then all of a sudden, who do we see? The Shred Dude.
I
The
love
Shred Dude.
I love these right
Yeah,
here, dude. He's
oh
got
my
the chains in his
God, so
hand.
good.
He grits his teeth, and then the way the panel just gets sliced.
Yes, it's amazing. He's like going all in. And then we just don't see it turns to the main or to the story, the B story,
Yeah.
and we get a crash as Leo is, I guess he, with the last amount of strength, he throws himself through that window. And then in the last panel, it's kind of like the tones are entering their world,
Yeah.
and a little bit of the darkness has entered, this brightness, and we hear Leo reveal the news. He's back.
So
The
good.
Shred Dude.
So good.
So
It's
sick.
awesome. Yeah. And then it's continued in TMNT 10. And I also forgot when we were going to read this that it like continued over. I almost picked up issue 10 and started reading it, but I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I'll wait.
Bade Biker and Orson #2.
Mm-hmm.
Gizmo. Pin up from an unknown artist here. Kind of fun.
Yeah.
Andy. They don't
Yeah.
even say anything in the beginning, like we got a pin up from so and so.
I know it's weird. Usually they do. But that was another great issue of the old school Mirage Turtles. I love going through these comics. I love rereading them over and over again. So this won't be the last time we read some old Mirage stuff, but hope you guys dug
It
the
is
video.
what makes the Turtles comics so much. Sorry to interrupt your
No, that's all
outro
good.
there, but
It's
it's
all
like it's these Mirage comics that make the real fans, like you said, come back to these comics again and again and again and read them and
Yeah.
buy them in different versions and get it. It's so good.
I have so many different versions of the fucking the ultimate collections. I just got the compendium. I fucking have the originals, obviously, and then I get those like oversized notebook series that they did with Kevin Eastman, the Arto biography, the artisan edition. Like,
yep. And I'll just keep buying them.
Yes,
yeah.
they keep making them.
They keep making them. Yeah, exactly.
So hope you guys dug that issue. Go pick it up if you can. It's not terribly expensive, so they're pretty easy to find.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait to go through some more old Mirage, and make sure you follow us. Eli's links down below, Comic Lounge links down below. Hit the subscribe button. Check out the Turtle playlist that we have on here too. And on that note, we're out.
Shell, yeah.